Yo, what's up guys? My name's Holden and today I'm going to be showing you the ancient secrets that the ancient Egyptians knew and some reasons why they had to cover it up. So basically I want to start this video by explaining a little bit about what ancient Egypt actually was and what they stood for during the time that it was in power. So basically ancient Egypt was a multi-dimensional, hyperdimensional, and fifth-dimensional society. And what do I mean by that? That's a lot of big words, I know. Basically what that means is like they weren't just sitting around jerking each other off. They were basically doing high-level magic. They were doing high-level rituals and ceremonies to basically embody star systems. They would basically try to contact extraterrestrial beings through embodying their star system and their vibration of their star systems. And what they would do is they would actually, the reason why the pyramids are cut out like chambers basically, and they're pointing right towards coordinates in the sky and basically are lined up perfectly with grid lines on the earth and all this. It's also that they could basically view star systems and also embody star systems with their own vibration and try to, the goal for the ancient Egyptians was to raise their electromagnetic fields so far that they would actually encompass entire planets, entire solar systems, entire galaxies with their own consciousness. And basically by doing this they would become more and more comfortable with communicating with extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional beings that don't actually have to be confined by linear time-space or the 3D or the 4D or the 5D. They're kind of just omnipresent everywhere. But yeah, that's actually not what this video is about, guys. This video is going to be about explaining a little bit about who Thoth was, what his principles were, and why they were already at this high level of magic as such a young civilization. Because actually, in all honesty, they were only copying a much older religion that has been around on this planet for like hundreds of thousands of years. They just kind of took it and made it their own thing. So yeah, basically there was this guy named Thoth, and he was the like magical teacher of all these ancient Egyptian schools, and he wrote the first book of magic, the Book of Thoth. You can look it up, but I'm going to be explaining the 7 principles in that book and how they relate to your life and how it's a different level of like intelligence that they were basically on, because this is like really hard stuff to kind of like teach people, and it's taught in such a way that it actually makes sense, which is really awesome and really beneficial. So I'm going to share with you the first one of the 7 Hermetic principles. The first Hermetic principle is that the universe is all and that the mind is mental. Now what does that mean? That is the law of mentality. What that means is basically, instead of looking at the universe in a way that it's a giant scientific machine being created just for Earth to exist and just for life on Earth to exist, if we actually look at it in the same way that our own minds work, we can see that the universe is basically like a giant thought. It's like a giant dreaming bubble of thought. So instead of it being like non-sentient and non-aware of itself, and it's just a scientifical process that's being played out, and that's all that existence is, the ancient Egyptians actually proposed the idea that the entire universe was a mental thing, and that the entire universe was operating more like a thought and more like your mind than anything else, than it is a scientific probability of chance. So I don't know if I'm going to have time to go through every single one of these principles for you guys. You can look them up yourselves. This is just going to be a little bit of a more in-depth explanation at how these work. But basically I'll be sharing 3 of these with you today. And the second Hermetic principle I want to share with you guys is the principle of correspondence. And basically what that means is as above, so below, as below, so above. And now what does that mean? Basically when we're talking about the law of correspondence, we're basically talking about that everything that happens on a microcosmic level happens on a macrocosmic level. Everything on a macrocosmic level happens on a microcosmic level. So what that basically means is that everything on Earth affects everything in the solar system, and everything like in the universe and solar system affects everything on Earth. So that's why we have to understand that it's not just a random thing that we are put here to do something. it's actually the entire universe experiencing itself. So obviously it matters what we do here on Earth. It affects everything. It basically ripples out into infinity. And what I'm saying is that whatever's happening above in the spiritual realm is immediately reflected back to the physical realm, and then whatever is happening in the physical realm, whatever's being manifested through the spiritual realm, is being reflected back to itself. So the third and last principle that I'll talk about today is the principle of cause and effect. And cause and effect is basically when whatever you do something, then there's automatically going to be a reaction to that. So if you wake up every day and you go for a 5-mile run, or if you wake up every day and you sit in bed all day, those two things are going to have way different results and effects depending upon what you're doing, because you're causing that chain of events to happen. So basically, explaining the law of cause and effect, everything that you do has matter and it has weight. It has importance onto your own actions, and also it can affect the outer reality too. So the law of cause and effect basically is explaining that no matter how small something might seem or how useless or pointless it might be, it is actually all interconnected, it is all inter-affecting itself, and it's all choosing and deciding which probability to experience depending upon what your action is. So basically, whatever your action is, there will be an effect to that, and that effect is directly reflected to what your state of vibration, your intentions, your actions, your thoughts are in that moment, and then whatever that is will culminate and affect your greater future or the now, because there basically isn't a later. There's only right now and right now and right now and right now. I hope you guys could understand these tips a little bit better. Maybe I'll make a longer video on this explaining every single one of them in depth if you want me to do that. Obviously just leave a comment down below. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment, turn on the notification bell, share this with your friends and family. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting. So yeah, that's been awesome, guys. So as always, have an awesome day, guys.